Hey there, greetings. So today I want to talk about Pluto in Aquarius, and I want to share three things you can do to make the most of the Pluto in Aquarius energy, to emphasize its positive qualities and to align with the possibilities that Pluto in Aquarius is bringing. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro perspective for Sunday, February 2nd. Happy Groundhog Day. And with taking a little bit of a bird's eye view today of the outer planets and specifically outer planet Pluto, now solidly in Aquarius. And we're seeing some of the things that the underworld, the god of the underworld, is digging up from the bottom, bringing into the light, right? From the hidden in the shadows, bringing it into the light for us to see, for us to work with. So, how can we think about this time? Specifically with Pluto in Aquarius, which is going to be with us until the early 2040s. So we might as well get used to it and figure out how we can make the most of it. How we work with this energy in positive ways is something we can do consciously. So, and I've got three sort of topics or thoughts for you, general categories of how we can think about this Pluto energy. But first, what's going on, right? So Pluto is the planet of truth. It's a digging to a deeper truth. It's asking us to question what is true. It is having us deal with things having to do with truth and power. Pluto is also about power. So, power, how power is used, who has the power, what does it mean to find your own power? How do you find your own power to speak the truth? Some of these really important and deep and powerful questions. So, truth, power. Pluto is also about transformation, and it is about bringing what has been hidden in the shadows into the light of day so that we can understand it, heal it, work with it, allow ourselves to go through a process of transformation so that we can be changed, so that we can transform who we are, step into ideally a more healed, I guess, version of ourselves. So we're thinking about transformation and how can we do this transformation from a place of empowerment? How can we confront and talk about and think about issues having to do with the truth? And what does that mean? And who has the truth? And what is the truth? And a lot of these questions. So Pluto is in Aquarius. Before Pluto went into Aquarius, it was in Capricorn, where we were dealing with themes of systems, structures, institutions, how we organize things like government. And so, really, kind of Pluto digging up, here are some of the themes of what has been hidden in inherent in our systems of our operating systems, our systems of government, our systems of how we do things, our healthcare systems, our financial systems, our family systems, our all of it, anything that's a system. And so we are looking at now how those systems are trying to move beyond what they have been in the past, because Capricorn is very physical. It is about what is the structure, what is the way that we do things, what are the rules. And Aquarius says, hey, if you wanted to do something new, something different, something better, what would that look like? So Capricorn says, here are the rules. Here's what we must do. Here's how we must do things. So how are you going to succeed within the rules, within the existing boundaries and limitations? So things like working within the system to achieve things, to achieve goals, to further yourself, to get success within the system. And then Aquarius says, how are we going to burn down the system? How are we going to break free of it? How are we going to shatter it with the energy of lightning bolts and earthquakes and demolition and breaking free of old molds? So that can be obviously very hard and very traumatic and very destabilizing. It can also be very refreshing, very creative. It's the energy of freedom. It's the energy of we have the doors open now to do things differently. So we want to think about this Pluto in Aquarius energy in terms of not letting ourselves get lost in, whatever we're afraid of, whatever the scary headline is of the moment, and to remember some things about what is happening. So in the bigger picture, we have this transformation occurring related to how we think about the future, breaking free of the constraints of the past, opening to new possibilities. And we have certainly, the dark side of some of these things showing up. So the dark side of tech and artificial intelligence, the dark side of the future, and what does the future look like, and who decides what the future will look like, and whose vision is going to be the one that wins out. So the good news about Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius is that it is reminding us where the power is. It is inviting us, I guess, pushing us over the cliff in some ways to say, remember that you have power, that you as an individual have power, and how you use that power matters. So instead of in Capricorn, where it's like you have power, but only within the limitations of the system, Pluto in Aquarius says you have power, but you also have this freedom to think outside the box, to do things differently, to access new solutions, innovative thinking. And so again, I'm going to give you some real practical ways to think about this and what you can do to help to connect with the higher vibration of the Pluto possibilities, the invitations to transform in positive ways, to see this as a healing opportunity and obviously there are things breaking down, but also what is being built. Where is there construction, creativity, new generation of new forms from what is no longer existing from the past. And what do we care about, right? What's important? What do we want to have as our ideals for the future? So Aquarius is an air sign. It loves ideas, ideals, visioning, thinking outside the box, getting our minds wrapped around our principles, our ideals, and what that can look like. So here are three ways you can think about this to work with the Pluto in Aquarius energy in positive ways. And I got my notes, so I make sure I get these. So number one is to know who you are. And this is really important. So as the powers that be, the old guard of the systems and structures and institutions want you to become one of the masses want you to follow an idea or an ideology. It is your capacity to be yourself, to remember who you are as an individual that is your power. So remembering, knowing who you are, remembering your sense of self and feeding your sense of self, cultivating your sense of who you are is a really powerful thing you can do at this time. Give attention to your own uniqueness, your skills, your abilities, your wisdom, your creativity, your creative projects. What is it that is unique about you? And how can you cultivate that? How can you feed that? And how can you remember this is who I am? Because if those forces outside of us want to dismantle our own sense of who we are, then we give up our power when we say, oh, I'm going to ignore my own needs. I'm going to forget who I am. I'm going to focus on my fears or this thing that I'm worried about losing in the world or whatever that may be or look like. So know who you are. Feed and put energy into your sense of self and reinforcing your sense of self and being around people who recognize and appreciate you for who you are, for your uniqueness. And when we remember that we are all these beautiful individual human beings and that we bring these rich gifts and different perspectives and life experiences, our diversity becomes our gift, right? So remember who you are, feed who you are, take care of who you are, and that is one of the gifts you can be. And showing up as who you are is a gift in the way that you show up for others and the world. Okay, so number one is your individuality. Know who you are. Number two is community. And so this means that we are coming together as individuals to share with one another, to appreciate and recognize that we have each other, that I have a skill, I do something, and you have a skill, you do something different, you have a different approach to life, maybe, and we can come together and we can together do something even more meaningful, powerful, important, big. So come together in community, build community, give energy to your communities, give energy to the way that within communities, you are all different, and honor, value those differences, because that someone else's unique perspective or different way of being or different life experiences or different skills is a gift for you. It gives you something rich and a resource that you can call on when there's something you don't know how to do, and vice versa. What you have to offer can be a benefit to others. So know who you are, come together in community, and recognize and value the individuality of those that you can connect with. So I've heard a lot of different versions of this. It could be your local, any kind of group or club, a way of volunteering. Maybe this is how you show up and do activism. It could be a church group. It could be a family. It could be your neighbors. What does that look like? How can you, and it could be as simple as reaching out to someone you haven't been in touch with for a while. So just, hey, how are you doing? I just wanted to check and see how you're doing. Maybe we could catch up, go for coffee, have Zoom dates. So there's lots of ways you can reach out and forge those connections with others. And those connections, that sense of community is going to be your resource to keep you going. It's also, remember, like the relay races, when It's like we can all have each other's back. When I've got the energy and the skills and the ability, I'm going to do it. And at another time, maybe I need to step back and rest, and you're going to take the baton and do your part so we can work together to be stronger. And not only that, but just having community can support your well-being, your mental health, your self-care. So find those places of community and support. Recognize there are differences. We don't always agree. There may be conflict. Relationships are hard, but let's not avoid them. Let's remember that doing that work of being in relationship is much more deep and rich and complicated than maybe our social media relationships. Like a simple short post and way that we interact on the internet may be much more simplistic. So form those communities, remember how to do relationship, remember how to be human together. So those are the first two things. And then the third thing is create. And so this is really an important way to work with the Aquarian energy, is to remember that new ideas are available. This is about moving toward the future, getting excited about the future. So thinking about what you want to create. What are you good at? What do you like putting your creative energy into? What do you enjoy spending your time on? How can you turn that into something that you can put your effort into so that it can grow, so that it can be an offering for your community, for your wider world, or even just for yourself? That creative energy, that creative process feeds life force energy. It gives us energy. It helps us recharge our batteries. It reminds us that life is important. It reminds us of who we are and what we're good at. It feeds us. So find your process of creativity. What does that look like for you? And it could be a traditional place of creating, like doing art, writing, making music, creating beautiful environments or gardens. Or it could be something that you just enjoy doing, something that you can get lost in. If you can get lost in something and forget what time it is, that is your creative process. So reflect on what you enjoy doing that helps you to lose yourself, lose the cares and worries of the world, and put your energy into something you're creating. That's a starting place. It's also great to have goals with your creative projects. Here's something I want to accomplish. Here's how I'm going to work toward that. And that goal can be something that reminds you there's something in the future worth working for to keep going, that it can inspire, it can keep you focused and moving forward. And remember that the good things in life are available and to keep going for them. So those are three things that are very Aquarian, by the way. So individuality, Aquarius wants us to remember that we are different, we are quirky, we are individuals who march to our own drummers. We have to be ourselves. So how can you do that? How you are learning and figuring out how to do that in the context of what is happening in your life, what is happening in the world right now, is how you work with that Pluto that is inviting you to become something stronger, something better than you have been before. And that has to do with your individuality, your sense of self. Do not forget that you have agency, that you have power, that you have who you are. And so feed that, honor that, recognize that, respect that. So remember who you are. And then we've got community. Community is also very Aquarian. Community, grassroots movements, how you connect with one another, how you work together with others, working in groups, working toward a shared vision, something that you share in terms of values, again, keeps you moving toward the future, which is very Aquarian. And it helps to counteract any energy that is trying to suck us down in terms of fitting in. So Aquarius can also be the energy of following an ideology in a fixed way without having any flexibility or curiosity. So do the energy of community to remind yourself that you are working toward something, that you are coming together with others to support one another, even if it's just to support your well-being and your self-care. Have fun, go play cards, go to a movie, go to trivia night, go, right? Do things with people that remind you how to work and be together with others. So, and the third one is create, and that relates to Aquarius energy because the Aquarius energy is about new ideas, new consciousness, shifting into new possibilities, opening the door to the freedom of discovery, right? Not being limited by the constraints or restrictions or boundaries or rules of the past, and opening to what is possible and thinking in terms of what is possible, what excites you, what inspires you, what makes you want to keep going toward a future that has so much to offer, a future you believe in. So thinking about your own ideologies and working with this Pluto in Aquarius energy can look like all of these things. It is important to honor the need for new ways of being, to make space for who we are becoming, letting go of the past and opening to the possibilities of the future, thinking forward, thinking in terms of solutions, thinking in terms of where we want to go and where we are heading, and not letting ourselves get pulled down by the fears and things that might be unfolding in the world because those things will sort themselves out. And what matters is who you are and how you are living your life and what you are doing and how you are being there for others and working toward and for things that matter to you. So hopefully that's helpful. And there is plenty of room for activism, for creative problem solving, for thinking outside the box, for visioning new possibilities within all of this. But these are just 3 ways you can anchor when you feel yourself getting lost or overwhelmed or confused or frightened about the future. Come back to the here and now and what you can do to access some of these positive aspects of Pluto in Aquarius, because it's with us to stay. We've got this work to do. This is our work, and this is what we're here to do for the next until 2043. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Marina Orms, and I do these astrological self-care videos every day, looking at what is happening with the moon cycle, the moon phases, all the other planets, and what might be an opportunity that we can take advantage of to enhance our own self-care with astrology. Thank you for being here and subscribing to this YouTube channel. So follow me for more, and you can learn more about me and what I do. I'm Marina Orms, and astrologyheals.com is my website. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.